K-5 program portion of the Norwin Online Academy, our fully online virtual school. We will not be discussing the reopening of schools planned this evening. In order to decrease background noise, I'm going to mute everyone. We'll begin the presentation with a very brief slideshow and then provide opportunities for questions and answers. When you want to ask a question, please click the participants button at the bottom of the screen and then choose the raise hand icon. We will at that time go through the list of people with their hands raised, unmute you and list your name, and at that point you can ask your question. At this time, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Ms. Harris, who's in charge of our Norwin Online Academy.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Welcome everyone to our third and final. We've done the high school, the middle school, and now elementary Zoom sessions. So I'd like to thank you all for coming this evening, and hopefully we get all of your questions answered. I'd like to start out by giving you a brief overview of where Norwin Online Academy has come from. We have been our name has changed as we have evolved. We started out as Center for 21st Century Learners. We went on to the E-Academy, and now we are Norwin Online Academy. I call us NOAA now. With saying it so many times and doing the acronym NOA, I refer to it as NOAA, but the Norwin Online Academy. We started out just available for high school students, but we have been available for K through 12 now for about 4 years. Last year enrolling over about 125 students. With this program, we do partnership with the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit. And with that, there are 2 different platforms, E-Academy, which is 6 through 12, and the one we're going to speak about tonight, Accelerate Learning, is also, it's primarily K to 5, but it does go up K to 12. The benefits of the Norwin Online Academy are endless. So we've tried to encompass this slide with ones that we thought were most important. And I think the most important one is number 1. Your child remains a Norwin student. I've had parents say, well, how do I withdraw my child? And if I come back, do I have to re-enroll? That is not part of the process. Your child remains a Norwin student. They do not have to withdraw. They do not have to re-enroll. And with that being a Norwin student, they still get to do all the things that a Norwin student could do. So if there was anything going on at school at the elementary level, I know that the Halloween parade, if we get back and they can have the Halloween parades, your child could participate in the Halloween parade because they're still a Norwin student. And going up the line, there's a lot more things. They get to have get the diploma, they get to walk. But academically, they still get the robust, rigorous curriculum that Norwin offers. It is slightly different, and it's at a different platform, but it is a rigorous curriculum that they use. It's a wide variety of courses. They do get a laptop if needed. So if you have one at home, we do encourage you to use it. But if you do need one or you need Wi-Fi, we can provide that for you. You also, as far as in the building, you still maintain your guidance counselor. So each of you have a counselor that goes between 2 buildings, and you will still have access to that counselor. If you have any questions, concerns, you can still call that counselor and talk to them, as well as the building principal. You're still a student, you can still call the principal, set up a meeting, talk to them on the phone. You have access to everyone at the building as if your child would go to the building every day. The registration process is very simple. All you do is you go to the Norwin website. On that website, in the top toolbar going across the top, you're going to see the word academics. Click on academics, and underneath, the second one down is going to be Norwin Online Academy. And when you click on that, over to the right, you're going to get a drop down, and the third tab down is going to say Parent Pre-Registration Orientation Form. You simply click on that tab, and you go in and you complete the registration form. Only complete the registration form once. Even if you change your mind 5 times, if you do it 1 time, please just do it once. I get it, I keep it. Even if you tell me you're going to withdraw your kid, you've changed your mind, I keep it in my own separate file just in case you change your mind again. And I can put it right back in. So please hit submit one time. And if you would have any questions, you could either call me, or on it, it does have a place where you can check that you would like to receive a phone call, and I can call you. Once you do submit that, I do notify the principals and the counselors also that your child has registered for online, and that's where the registration would begin. We do have set courses for K-4, but you do have some options in there. So what you would do is the counselor is going to schedule your child for the core courses. And then if there are options and you would like to choose other options, you can do that and we will register you for those courses. Once the counselor and the parent pretty much pick the courses, I don't know how much the student's going to have to say in it at that young of an age, but they may, then you're on your way. The courses are scheduled and the courses do begin on August 25th. And someone will get in contact with you once you submit your form in about a week or two, once the counselors are back and they start the registration process. Course selection. For the K-4, the counselor and the parent and the student are going to use Accelerate Learning. Again, it's going to be a combination of 4 core courses: ELA, math, science, and social studies. And then we are requiring 2 electives at each level. And then there are optional courses that you can choose to take. If you are interested in looking at that chart, it is on the website, the Norwin website. Again, the same place that you went for the registration form, but instead of clicking on the parent registration form, the tab above it, so it would be I believe it's the first one actually. It's the first tab. It will say curriculum. When you click on curriculum, there's going to be a table. You want to look at the table, find the grade level of your child and look down. It will have an R for required courses and an O for optional courses. The required courses are the ones that the counselors will automatically register your child for, and the optional ones, you will have the choice as to whether you would like them to take those courses or just stick with the required courses. These are, all of these are going to be on the Norwin website. The catalog is not available yet, but we're hoping to have it available by the end of this week. The live lessons at K-4, and actually it goes up to 5, even though today is K-4, there is synchronous online learning. So all K-5 Norwin Online Academy students will have access to daily live streamed lessons from Zoom from their teacher. So again, it will be daily. These live lessons can also be recorded. We have parents who might not be able to have their child sit down at a specific time, so we're recording them, and then they can watch them at another time during the day, possibly in the evening when the parents come home, and they can see the lessons then. Teacher assignment, we do have, and I know at this point, we have 54 teachers who have signed up to be a part of the online academy. With all of this going on and learning new things, we have 54 teachers, and that's a great number, just to show how excited they are about this online learning, who are anxious and excited to teach our kids with the online academy. So what we do is with Accelerate Learning, we do have Norwin teachers who will teach those courses. We are capping courses because we can't put 100 kids in a class. If it would happen to go over, we do have Westmoreland teachers, but we are pretty confident that with 54 teachers, we'll be able to get all of our kids with Norwin teachers. So that is our goal. The role of the online teacher. So many parents think that it's a simple one. You put the work out, you grade it, and you're done. Sometimes I think it may be harder online. Again, as I told the parents last night, when you're in a classroom with kids, it's very easy to reach out and touch the kids. It's proximity. You can look at them. You can see the expression on their face. Online, you can see during the synchronous lessons, you can see them, but it is more difficult. So we have a lot of roles that we have to play as the online learner. You can see you're an individual mirror. You have to provide meaningful feedback, provide frequent feedback. You're a co-learner, you're a learning coach. You have a lot of roles that you're going to play as the teacher of an online course. Technology. Families that do not have a computer or Wi-Fi, we can provide both of those to you at no cost. If you do have that at home, we do ask that you use what you have at home. But again, if it's not available, Norwin would be able to provide that for you. One of the questions that I have from a lot of families is they're looking to go out and buy a computer. So we did get the specs for the computer if you were to go out and buy one. Those are also online. If you go under, again, academics, Norwin Online Academy, and in that drop down, you're going to see all of this information that we're talking about. You can print that spec sheet off, take it to wherever you're going to look at the computer, and make sure that you get what is usable, compatible with the programs. But again, I can tell you that any computer that a parent has ever used, I've never had a parent tell me that their computer was not compatible with what was being used in the platform for the Accelerate Learning. Instructional delivery. At this point, I get to take a break, and I'm going to introduce you to Mrs. Henderson. She is the Westmoreland Intermediate person who is in charge of the program itself. She does the nuts and bolts of all of it, and she's going to give you an overview of what an Accelerate lesson might look like for your child. Mrs. Henderson.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to take you through a tour of one of our courses so that you understand exactly what students will see when they enter a course. So when a student first enters a course, the very first thing you're going to see is a welcome message from the teacher. You're seeing Mrs. Laidline right now. She was teaching with us last year and will continue to teach as well from the Kiski Area School District. The very first thing we ask is for them to establish a strong teacher presence. We want to make sure that our students really understand that there is a human on the other end of this. This isn't just a robot. This isn't just an automatically graded system, but there is a real person that cares about them and wants to see them succeed on the other end. So we have a little overview here. A lot of our teachers also do this in video form as well. We also make sure that you have contact information right away. That is up front. We want to make sure you know exactly how to get in touch with each of your teachers. The very first thing when you look down here are the lists and the modules of all of the content for the length of the course. Full year courses come in 2 semesters so as to not visually overwhelm students. So you'll see here, this is semester A, the first half of the year. There are 18 modules. Each module lasts 1 week. So the content within each module is a week's worth of content. Before you get into any of that though, one of the things that I love the most personally is the resources folder. In this folder, the first 3 things are the biggies. Each student, K-4, is assigned what is called a learning coach. This is an adult at home that can help to support the student as they are going through their coursework. These are designed just for you. When you go into this folder, it's going to help you understand what it means to be a learning coach, some of the responsibilities that come with that as far as making sure that students have a schedule, making sure that they're structured to be successful, regardless of what that schedule is for your day and what makes the most sense for you and your family. We have lots of videos in here. We have all sorts of resources. And if you happen to have been in one of the other presentations this week, you'll see that the format and the presentation of this content is a little more elementary student friendly. Students even have the ability over here to change their background depending on their mood. Sometimes it's a green day, sometimes it's a pink day, sometimes a purple day or a blue day. We make sure that all of the buttons for navigation are easy for students to see. There is in each of these folders a recommended suggestion as for how many minutes students should interact with content. Again, this is completely up to you and your student. You know them better than anyone. This is just some basic guidance, not something that you absolutely have to take to heart. You have plenty of resources in there. In addition, there are some suggestions for ways to, again, ensure that you can help support your learner at home. Below that is a getting started tab. This tab, here it goes, it's moving a little slow. This is in every single course consistently across the board, because we know that sometimes as students go through their courses, they forget the simple things. How do I go to click an assignment? Where do I go to find my teacher's contact information? This is in every single course to help remind students easily how to submit assignments, where to find announcements, how to make sure that you can check your grades, how to contact your teacher. As always, there are videos to help reinforce all of this and to take students on a tour, and you as well, so that you can see everything. In addition, we have transcripts at the bottom of videos so that you can use that if you'd like. You can even print it out. Those are all in PDFs. Once you get into the actual coursework, again, one module is 1 week of work in here. You're going to see all different sorts of things. The very first thing that you're going to see is the presentation of the content. So in this one, we are talking about math facts 0 to 50. There are printer buttons to let you know that you can print out things if you prefer to have students write out notes, complete a worksheet instead of doing it digitally online. You have that option. The content you'll see, there's not an awful lot on each tab. Again, the idea is not to visually overwhelm students. At this age, we do not want them scrolling through pages and pages of PDFs, but everything on here is very interactive. So when they go through, they click and they can get the answer. So you could actually go through, ask the student to fill out all the answers, and then they could click to check to make sure they're correct. And again, here's another video that's going to load. You have the transcript below as well. The other thing I want to show you real quick are the quizzes. Each module is going to have a brief quiz with it. In this case, the quiz is about 6 questions long. A weekly quiz usually is no more than 10 questions at the most. These are checks for understanding to make sure that students really do understand the content that's being presented to them. You'll see here that it's set at 2 attempts per student. The teacher has absolute control over that. If a student goes through and tries it, but they weren't in a great headspace and maybe they need to retake it, the teacher has control to do that. We want to make sure that we're setting our students up for success, so there's a lot of flexibility here. Most of the quizzes are very simple in their format and that they are multiple choice. Students, again, are always encouraged to do any paper and pencil writing that they need to. If they go through and they think, oh wait, maybe I didn't do that right. Maybe I was adding when I was supposed to subtract. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Let me try again. They want to click back. They can go backwards and forwards before they submit, so they can also check their work. At the end of each semester course, there's also going to be a little survey for them to take so that their teachers can get feedback on the structure and the way they presented content to make sure that they are comfortable in everything that they are doing. As it was said already, teachers are going to be also holding synchronous sessions because we want to make sure that there's a strong teacher presence. We want to make sure that they are presenting the content in their own words. Although these courses are asynchronous in the way that they've been developed, a lot of our teachers treat online courses that are developed asynchronously to almost be like their textbook, in that it's providing the content, it is providing the information, it is providing the exercises, but really the key to success is the teacher's presentation of that content. So we want to make sure that we're reinforcing that with our synchronous sessions. And I believe that the teachers will be using Zoom for that, so that we make sure that we have the ability for the students to interact with each other, that we can record everything, and everyone will be provided access to those recordings as well if you're unable to make it. In addition, we always encourage our teachers to set up one-on-one Zoom sessions or synchronous sessions with you and the student if they're struggling and they just need a little extra personal attention.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Henderson.
You're welcome.
We're going to continue on. The next part is going to talk about grading. With grading, the parents typically, and when the students are in the brick and mortar, you're going to go to Skyward to look for your child's grades. With the Accelerate Learning, when you go into the program, this is where you're going to find their grades. The grades do not they don't sync with Skyward. So their daily quizzes, homework, quit tests, things like that are going to be in the Accelerate Learning program. Now, I will put in their 9-week and final grades into Skyward. So the only ones you'll find in Skyward are their 9-week grades and their final report card grade. Other ones you'll find when you do your parent account, you'll be able to go in there and you'll be able to follow their grades in that program. This is not a pass-fail. The children will receive an A, B, C, D, or F following the Norwin grading scale. Again, Mrs. Henderson hit on this a little bit, a typical day. She did put out what the guidelines are, but again, a typical day is going to depend on the child and it's going to depend on the work. So you as the parent will determine exactly how long they're going to spend each day in each class. And again, it may vary every day, but they really should go into each class every day, even if it is for a little bit. Special education, gifted education, and 504 plans. These are all followed in the online academy. What happens with an IEP, GIP, or 504, I do upload them into the system, and each teacher is able to view the child's IEP along with the SDI sheet. So they are required to follow those accommodations that are in the IEP, GIP, or 504. As a parent, what we need for you to do is to contact your case manager and or Dr. Snyder and schedule a meeting, letting them know that you're choosing to go to the Norwin Online Academy. They will set up a meeting for you to have a meeting. They'll set up the meeting for you to come in, and you're going to talk about what the new accommodations are going to look like. Again, they're going to look a little different because the child's online. So things that, like say, frequent breaks, they can afford that themselves. If they need a break online, they can take a break. That really isn't one that's in the IEP that's going to make a difference online, because that's something that's built into the system. That is the beauty of online education. A lot of the things are built in, but they can come up with other things that are able to do online for an IEP, GIEP, or 504. So in the meantime, you can still go on and complete the parent pre-registration orientation form prior to your meeting. We just can't finish the process until that meeting is over. So parents, if you are going to register, go ahead and get the registration form in, submit it. But in the meantime, contact your case manager and or Dr. Snyder to set up your meeting to talk about the new accommodations and adjusting the IEP. Parent involvement. Every parent will receive a parent account. And again, this gives you the ability to look at, you have access to the lessons, you can see what the kids see, you can look at their attendance, their grades, work completion. So you are able to see everything that they're able to see at the elementary level. All right, this brings us to the question and answer. One other thing that I did not mention in the presentation, which I know will be a question, is can I start in school doing the 3-day remote and the 2-day? And if I'm not happy with that, can I transfer over to the online, or can I do just the opposite? Can I start in the online, and if we go back to full day, can we move back to the building? And the answer is yes to both of those. At any time, whichever program you select, you can change to the opposite program. We do encourage that you do it at a natural break, because for the child, we do kind of a closure at the end of the 9 weeks and get a grade, but it is not mandatory that that's done. So if we get in and 5-6 weeks in, you decide you want to change, all you have to do is talk to the principal, talk to me, and we can start that process going and get you switched to the program that you're going to be more comfortable with. All right. Okay. Dr. McCracken, I believe at this point, we are ready to begin the question session.
Okay. I'll go through the list of people who have their hands raised, and when I call your name, I'll ask you to unmute yourself and then ask your question. If you do have a number of questions to ask, we would ask that you would contact Ms. Harris individually if there are very specific questions or needs that you feel your child has. Right now, we'll try to answer all of the general questions that will help everyone in the meeting. The first question will be from Kelly Burr.
Hi, I have several, but I guess just stop me if I ask too many. The first question I have is about the LMS. So it looks like that the Norwin Online Academy is going to use Moodle, but the bricks and mortar is going to use Google Classroom for K-4. Is that correct?
The Accelerate is using Buzz, if I'm correct in saying that, Mrs. Henderson? Yes?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay.
That was Buzz.
Yeah, yes. The platform there is Buzz, but if you do the 3-day remote and the 2-day in building, that is Google Classroom.
So my question is, if one does the hybrid and those teachers are also doing the Norwin Academy, so they would have to create the courses using Buzz, but then for the hybrid, they would have to create the online courses using Google Classroom.
The teachers who are doing the Accelerate Learning, there is a package, it's a program that the teachers are using for the Accelerate Learning, and then they can supplement that program with the synchronous lesson, any activities that they think would be helpful for the children. So those teachers will use the program, and then in their classroom, for the ones that they're teaching in the classroom, they will develop their classroom lessons just as they normally would any year.
So these are teachers, the ones that would be teaching these classes are teachers that are also doing the hybrid. So how are they going to do synchronous learning if they are teaching during the hybrid?
K-4 teachers are not doing both.
So you guys said that Norwin teachers are going to be doing the Norwin Online Academy as long as the number of students registered doesn't get too high. So how are they not doing both then?
We have dedicated teachers that are teaching online and K-4.
So you guys have separate teachers that just teach online classes?
We will for this year.
Okay, so it wouldn't necessarily, then it wouldn't be the classroom teachers. Those would be different teachers. Okay. The last question I have, because I'm sure everybody else has more questions, is where are the resources, the literary resources coming from? So for example, for an ELA course for, say, grade 3, where are those sources? They don't have textbooks, so where's the literature coming from?
They're online. All the things that they will need will be online. It's part of the lesson that Mrs. Henderson showed.
Now, I know that it will be presented to them in an online format, but where are those sources coming from? When you're talking about literature, I would want my child to be exposed to good literature. So where are those sources coming from?
I'm not sure what you mean coming from. They're
well,
research-based literature that is used for each lesson to support an objective. So whatever the objective is, if that literature can support the objective and what they're trying to teach, that would be part of the lesson.
Mrs. Henderson, do you want to provide some examples?
Yes. So in addition to that, Accelerate Learning actually partners with a variety of publishers to be able to provide additional resources. So if we need to do a novel study, for example, whether it is a small part or a larger part, they have access to that. And also, because students are district students, if there would be a need for access to a physical novel, you can use library resources, or you can come to us at the IU and we can arrange interlibrary loaning. But most of the content is in every single course ready to go.
You're saying that with the Accelerate courses, they pay for resources just like districts would pay for resources with textbooks?
Yes, that is part of the package with this, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question will be from Tammy Smith.
Oh, hi. It's not Tammy, but she's here. So, the question was, how is the structure of a day laid out? So, like, does each core class have a live lesson tied to it, and then in between the kids can do whatever, or are they supposed to do their like workbooks and buzz between then? Or just how does a day look with the online academy with the live learning component?
Mrs. Henderson, do you want to address that?
Dr. Taylor, please correct me if I'm wrong in this, but because we do have dedicated teachers that will be doing simply their online courses instead of bouncing between the classroom and being online, they will be able to set up a schedule for each teacher so that they have times that they're dedicated to being online and providing live instruction. Anything that happens outside of that time, that's going to be at your discretion as a family to make sure that it works for you.
Okay, and then is there, so for each class, like for social studies, language arts, math, whatever, does each one have its own live instructor?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. And then for electives, does that work the same way? Will there be live elective teachers as well, or is that?
Yes.
It depends on the actual teacher, to be honest, or actual elective, how much synchronous they're going to get. I mean, there will be a teacher involved, but it depends on the actual course elective that they choose.
Okay, and then for finding the Zoom meetings for live lessons, will that be through email, or will that be like a link to it in the Buzz curriculum?
It can be Buzz.
Okay.
It can be both, actually. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you need.
Okay, and then as far as the one-on-one sessions, are teachers obligated to provide them, or is it like a case-by-case basis with students?
No, it'll be a normal schedule for, you know, an ELA lesson or a math lesson, and then they will be recorded. So if the student can't attend it at that specific time, let's say they're somewhere else, they're at grandma's house, and they don't have internet there, then they'll be recorded so they can watch it at a later date.
Right. The only question we had is specifically for like the one-on-one, if like a student needs extra help or whatever, are teachers going to be providing that, or is it kind of just like a teacher can choose if they will on a case-by-case basis, or are they mandated to provide that help if necessary?
We have amazing teachers, and if any of our students need one-on-one support or they need help answering a question, our teachers will have office hours and they can definitely make arrangements with that student.
Okay, and that does it for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question is from Sarah Costa.
Hi, so I'm just wondering what the half-day kindergarten model would look like.
What the students will do is it's the exact same thing as with the first, second, third, fourth. The teachers are going to have they'll have a curriculum that they will follow, and they will be scheduled into their core courses and follow the courses through. So the students, again, will still be able to look at their courses at their time. If the students sleep in a little bit, or if they're early birds, they would be able to get in those courses when they wanted to, but pay attention to when the teacher would be doing the synchronous course lessons so that they could make sure that they were attending at that time.
So would it balance out to just being like 2.5 hours again?
I would think it may be that. For a single student, it may be a little bit less.
Okay.
But again, it's going to depend on the student and how many breaks they may take and the length of the assignments that they're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, the next question is from Swoboda.
How do you raise your hand?
Down in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, there are a series of little buttons, and maybe you might need to click on the one that says More, and then you can see, or a raise hand is down there. Okay, the next person is
I don't see it.
Hi, so I have a couple of questions. The first thing is, I was looking at registering for the Norwin Online Academy, and there was a question that says select the appropriate status for your child. Even though this is temporary during the COVID situation, should I just select full-time cyber student, or should I just select hybrid cyber student?
Are you going to have your child attend Norwin Online Academy full-time?
No, this is only during the COVID situation, but once it resolves and we move back to the full day schedule, I'll probably send him back to Sunset Valley.
but they're going to start out in the full-time program. So you would select that they're going to be in the Norwin Online Academy. And then when the time comes, if you want to go back, then we will switch you back.
Okay. And the second thing is, like, my son is in kindergarten. So what is the size of the Zoom class when they offer the synchronous lessons?
The teachers, is going to depend on how many students that we have, but it will always be a manageable amount of students. Again, we do have a large amount of teachers who are going to be teaching those courses. So it will be a manageable amount of students for each of the teachers.
Okay, so my last question is, like, I know you said all the synchronous sessions will be recorded. So how does the absentee / the vacation time work? Like, because since they're recorded, we can always watch them whenever we want. Like, how do you manage that for the student? Like, saying that the student was absent for this time. So how does that work?
Well, they have a week to complete most of their assignments. When Mrs. Henderson showed the model of how the courses are laid out, how the assignments are laid out, the modules are for 1 week. So each week they would need to complete those courses. If we see that those aren't being completed in a timely fashion, then what we'll do is, as a district, as we would do with any student, is reach out to you, see if there's something going on. Was there a vacation? Is there a medical concern? As to why the assignments are not being completed. So then as a family with the district, we would discuss that with you personally.
I guess let me rephrase that. I think that was not my question. So, like, for example, if my student was going into the hybrid model, let's say on Monday and Tuesday, and he did not report to the school on Monday. So maybe it's counted like as a absentee day. So how does that work in the online program?
If they say in the online program, if they skip Monday, say they wake up Monday morning and they really just don't feel well. And so they skip Monday, mom, dad nurses them back, and Tuesday they get up and they feel great. They just get on and they start their work. They get on and if there was the lesson that was the day before, they'll still be able to view it. They can still start the assignments the second day on Tuesday. So they don't have to do certain things on Monday, certain things on Tuesday. Again, if we see a lot of absences, then again, we are going to call the family and see if there is something of a concern to us. But what we're interested in this is the students completing the work.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Our next question is from Jillian Kahn.
Hello, we're looking at grouping up with a few other parents and taking turns helping each other out and having the kids work together. Is there any way that, and it would just be a few kids, is there any way to ensure that some of the kids would have the same teacher, or do the teachers all teach the same curriculum, and would we be able to make that workable?
We would have to look into that. The curriculum is the same because it's the same program. If they're in the same school, we are going to try and pair the students up with teachers from their building so that possibly they get a teacher that they're familiar with. So there really is a good chance that that could happen, and it's probably something that we could try and work out.
Okay, fantastic, thanks.
Okay, the next question is from Terry Doolittle.
If you want to.
Hi, so my question, and I don't know if this is the right time to ask it or if it can even be answered, is last year I had 2 school-aged kids. This year I've got 3. And with 2, it was very difficult. So I'm trying to compare the NOAA and the hybrid. I'm understanding the Norwin Online Academy that you can work ahead just as long as you get your week's work done. I understand the grading. Is the hybrid going to be the same as last year, where the teacher's going to put the lessons on weekly or daily? Is it going to be pass-fail?
We're not actually talking about the hybrid program this evening. We're kind of focusing on the Online Academy program. But if you want to reach out to Ms. Harris tomorrow, you can give her a call or email. She can address those questions for you.
Okay. Let me look real quick at my notes and see if there's another question that I have. Yeah, I think just talking to somebody about the hybrid and now being able to compare the hybrid to what I know of the Norwin Online is going to answer all my questions. Thanks.
And
Okay,
I would also suggest that you could reach out to your child's building principal. If you just choose, one principal, whether it's all K-4 or Hillcrest, and the principal would be able to answer all of those questions about the Google Classroom and what the hybrid will look like this year.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, the next question will be from Livy Simmons.
Hi, this is Kelly Simmons. Libby's my daughter, sorry.
Hi, Kelly.
I was on the call last night. I do have a child going in 5th grade, and I have one going into 2nd. I'm just wondering, typically 2 different teachers, one for ELA and social and one for math and science. Will that still be applicable in the Norwin Online Academy, or would they have 4 separate teachers for that?
We haven't determined our teachers' online schedules yet. We will try and keep them with the 2 and 2, but we haven't finalized those schedules yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next question is Anne Eisenbree. I apologize for the last name.
Anne's here with me. This is her husband, Andrew. I have 2 questions. My first question is, we also have 3 children now that will be utilizing the online platform. And I mean, we have one, home computer. So are we able to get additional technology resources then for the other 2 children?
yes, we will be able to provide you computers for the other children.
Because we have twins that were in the full day kindergarten, and it's going to be interesting enough with them doing it online. But I mean, for them to share one computer, they'll literally kill each other.
We don't want that. we will be able to help you out with that.
The second thing is, if they were to, if I'm in healthcare, I don't expect COVID to resolve for many months, but if it would get to a point where our county or the state in itself would start to see drastic reductions in positive cases, would we be able to then go back to the full day program at the actual brick and mortar school?
Yes, you can. You can switch between the programs at any time.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? No? All right, that's really so do we have to just reach out to somebody about the technology resources, or is that kind of like an email or communications gonna?
And when you fill out the parent registration orientation form, it will ask you for each child that you register, it will ask you if you need technology, and you can indicate whether you need a computer and Wi-Fi for each of them.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, I think your platform is really well done, and I applaud all of you for standing something up so quickly in an unprecedented period of time. So, I mean, I just think more people need to realize we have not faced a pandemic for over 100 years. So, congratulations, my hat is tipped to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, our next question is from Hannah Brown.
Hi, I do have a couple questions. Okay, when Miss Henderson was talking about the grading and how things will be graded this year and how we have the option to print out or it being done digitally, what will be graded? Is it just going to be the tests and quizzes, or will it be the worksheets also? And if we do choose to print them out, do we send them in, or how will those be graded?
So the graded items do vary a little bit at different grade levels and also by content area, but you will see that anything that is listed as an assignment or a quiz, such as some of the worksheets, they are all graded, usually just a few points to make sure that students are doing the work. If you choose to print something out, all that we're going to ask is that you submit it digitally. You can send it via email, you can submit it back in the system. In addition, we do have some Magic Wand scanners that are available if you don't have a way to scan. However, most of our users in the system just use a free scanner app that's on their phone and then send that image of the work off to the teacher.
Okay, and I have another question. So when you talk about, you know, the kids being in a live group session, like my daughter's going to 3rd grade, will she be just with 3rd graders, or will she, you know, is it just a wide range of different kids? Like, will she have a class like she did last year?
Yes, it will be the teacher and it will be that class. She won't be in with 4th graders and 2nd graders. It will be her class.
Okay, and I do apologize. I have one more thing. Will there be any independent, like, will she be able to do this work independently?
She should be able to do a lot of it independently. The reading, it will be at her level, so she'll be able to do that. Yes, I don't see any reason why she would not be.
Okay. I believe that is all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Nia Dolton.
Yes, hi. I have a couple questions. I enrolled, pre-registered my daughter for the full-time online academy, and you mentioned about with the Buzz program and the synchronized lessons. Will the kids get a specific schedule for each day with specific time for the student to be online so they can have direct interaction with their teachers in their classroom? Or will it just be Zoom meetings here and there? Like last year, they had some times to get on for Zoom, but I wonder if it would be different this time. Will there be actually time to get on with your class so you can interact with your teachers?
There will be designated times they get on with their teachers.
Okay, so they'll get that schedule once they're enrolled into the program, they'll each get an individual schedule?
Correct.
Okay, my next question was, you talked about contacting Ms. Harris, about contacting your child's case manager to schedule a meeting for one of the program, if you're enrolling your child. How do you find out who your child's case manager is?
If your child has an IEP, GIEP, or 504, it would be the person that developed that IEP with you initially. Okay, so does every student have to have an IEP or GIEP or 504 to be enrolled? No. Any student can be enrolled. There are certain students who have disabilities or gifted students who have IEPs. Those are the students that we're talking about there. If your student just comes to school, you just register them for the online course, for the online academy. Okay, and one last question. How will they do, because I know because of the sudden shutdown this last school year, my daughter's going to 4th grade this year, and I know last year she was supposed to do her first set of PSSA testing, but they couldn't do it because of the sudden shutdown. How will the PSSA testing work for her in the 4th grade this year? Well, we have to wait and see. We'll get direction from the state on that, but students who do have courses online do also take the PSSAs typically, but we will have to wait for guidance from the state. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And I do appreciate everything you guys are doing to accommodate us. I'm a single parent, and I work full time. So this has been very stressful. So I appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to call the next name. I would just ask, we have a number of people who still have their hands raised and would like to be able to give everyone a chance to ask a question. So if you do have more than one question, if you could please just give Ms. Harris a call tomorrow, and then you can talk through your exact situation in detail with her. And we'll try to limit the questions to one so that we can get everyone having a chance to ask something. The next question is Courtney Litzinger.
Okay, so I think you covered this a little bit already, but for their typical day schedule, will it be the same? So the teacher will have, they'll have the classes and they'll have the same teachers. Will they be presenting at the same time every day? And will their schedule be made that, if they have different teachers for different things, that schedule kind of flows throughout the day? Like, it won't be like they'll have one class at 9 in the morning and then not another one till like 1 o'clock or something like that.
The classroom teacher will let you know, and I'm sure they will have a calendar. Elementary teachers are great at making calendars and planning things out. That's something is their forte. They are planners. I'm sure they will give you a calendar so that you will know ahead of time each day what time the synchronous lesson will be. Other than that one lesson or the lessons that they do that are synchronous, the other core lessons they can do on their own. So if there's something else that you have to do, they can do the other lessons at another time. They won't have to be in ELA at 9 and math at 10 and science at 10:30. It's not going to be a daily schedule like that. The teachers will let you know when the synchronous lesson is. The other lessons that they're going to complete can be at your discretion and what time frame fits you.
Okay, and you did say it would be a different teacher for all those, or one teacher? Maybe I.
We're trying to get one teacher. It depends on the grade level. The lower the grade level, we're going to try and keep one teacher. As 3 and 4, if we have to have 2, as they just like they switch in school, they may have 2 teachers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the next question is from Lauren W.
Hi, my question was just if you start back hybrid with actually going to class and then you decide to pull back and enter the Norwin Academy, will the children start like back at module 1, or will they start on whatever week you pull them back? And how will they know like what was covered in school versus what you're jumping into on the Norwin Academy?
Yeah, typically when you start into that, it's just like starting into it like you moved and you go to a new school district. We wouldn't want you to start way back at lesson 1 if you're jumping in at week 7, because then you have to catch up. Now, if there is something that is important and there's a lesson that the teacher feels that the student might need to go back and maybe readdress or review, they can always have them go back and address a lesson, but they would not have to go back and complete modules 1 through 6 if they're coming in at week 7.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question is from Bram Hall.
Hi, my name's Kaylee. I actually was just asking if my kid's going into 1st grade, and I was just curious to know if she would be receiving like any type of like books or supplies or anything like that, like to help with her writing or penmanship, things that she normally would be working on in school. I didn't know if anything like that was going to be supplied to her.
Yes, with this Accelerate Learning, there are workbooks. I can't guarantee that they will be in right at the beginning, but they're only supplementary because we do recognize that the penmanship, the handwriting, the fine motor skills are important, especially at this young age. So we do have those books, but again, they are supplementary. The work that will be handed in is the work that's on the computer, and the work that is in the workbook, again, is for them to do that is extra, and it complements the lessons so that they can get that fine motor skill.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is from Mike.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. Just going back to like the live lessons, will there be, I'm just trying to understand like the typical day. I know that's been brought up several times. So will there be a live lesson each day from every type of core curriculum, or is it, you know, once a week and then you're on your own for the remainder of the week? Just trying to understand that structure.
There will be live lessons each day of the week. Depending on the teacher's lesson structure, there may be a day where they have ELA, math, and science, but maybe not social studies. Depending on maybe they may have a lesson maybe in social studies on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday, maybe the students are working independently on a project and they have another live lesson on Thursday. But there will be live lessons every day though.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask my other questions to Ms. Harris later. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, our next question is from Beaners.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so during the shutdown, it was very parent intensive to teach our children. Do you anticipate this being the less parent intense or more, or about the same, or can you answer that at all?
Are you speaking to the online academy?
Yes, yes.
Yes. I think that the kids will be able to, it's the layout of it is very, very child friendly. They're able to follow it. There are whatever's on there can also, and Mrs. Henderson did not show it today, but I'm going to tell you about the feature. If you highlight something, if a child can't read it, you can push the button and it will actually read it to you.
That
So
is my main concern. Thank you. Because
Yeah,
she's a first grader. She can't read. So we spent a lot of time reading the questions to her.
Yep, and it will read things to them. They can push on things. It will show them pictures of what it might look like. So there are those different features that will help the children to navigate through themselves.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next question is from Christy Stape.
Hi, thank you so much for doing these. We have a bunch of questions, but I'll try to limit it to the one main one we have. We're still unsure which option we're going to choose. If we choose a private charter school, are there restrictions from moving out of that back to the brick and mortar or to the NOA?
You can always move between programs.
Even if it's the private charter school?
Yes.
Okay. And then this kind of goes with it as well. I know you're want it kind of limited to one question, but I know the superintendent had kind of stated, I think it was this morning's email blast, if approximately 50% choose online learning and that the district may move to a 5-day brick and mortar. If they did decide to do that with the current CDC guidelines, what happens if a lot of people want to put their kids back into the brick and mortar for the 5 days? What is the district's plans on that? Are they going to, because they're still not going to be capable of being compliant with the social distancing. So will they restrict the readmission to the brick and mortar, or will they revert back to a hybrid model again?
So if you want to give me a call or email me tomorrow, I can talk about that. But tonight we're not talking about the reopening plan tonight. It's only the Online Academy program. But feel free to give me a call or email me tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question is from Becky.
Just have a quick question on the format of it. So my son was accepted into the afternoon kindergarten program at the school itself due to our work schedules. It fits in better. We really are hoping to keep him out of the school and into the Norwin online program. So is there a way to ensure that he would get more of an afternoon live session with his teachers, or is it all going to vary once everything's laid out and then the teacher decides when the timing will be for the live sessions?
You can certainly make that request, but we cannot guarantee that right now. It'll depend on the number of students enrolled in each section. And so I can't guarantee it'll be in the afternoon, but if you make that request, we'll make every accommodation we possibly can.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the next question is from Michael Anderson.
It's actually Michelle.
Michelle, I'm sorry, I apologize.
That's okay, everyone does it, it's fine.
I was back and forth. I couldn't decide which one I was going to try.
Yeah, no, that's fine. My question was the first day, because with the hybrid reopening, the first day of school was August 31st, but Ms. Harris said that with the online academy, it's August 25th. I just wanted to know what the official first day of school, because I'm a single parent and I like to take the first day off to make sure that my son is well situated with the online academy.
Yes,
so our teachers won't actually begin teaching like live lessons until the first day of school contractually, which is August 31st.
Okay. Okay, so that would be so it's the 31st, not the 25th.
For the live lessons, yes.
Oh,
I think that maybe to add to that, there would be information available. You would be able to log in. You could look around, get a feel for the courses, but then the teacher would not provide live instruction until August 31st.
Okay, but the students don't have to do anything until August 31st, as far as coursework.
They could choose not to, yes, because they don't have to do specific assignments each day.
Okay, okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Sure. All right, and our last hand is Erin Luthold.
Hi, you got it right. So everybody always messes that up.
Good.
So I understand that the live instruction or live lessons can be at different times during the day, but is there any way to get an example to the parents so we can see what a semi-normal day may look like so we can make a better decision for our children?
At this point, we really don't have all the enrollment numbers for the online academy yet. Once we have our enrollment numbers, we can work with the IU to come up with the number of sections needed for each grade level. And then once we have those teachers in place, then we can start working on what does the individual class lessons look like. But honestly, at this point, I can't give you a definitive answer. I wish I could. It will be a mixture of having a live lesson, and then there could be some time for students to work asynchronously on some study assignments or some interactive activities, and then have another live lesson in a different class, such as ELA or math. But in terms of exactly 9 o'clock we'll do this, 10 o'clock we'll do this, I don't have that yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Harris, that concludes the questions for this evening.
Well, if you have any additional questions and you think of something later, please give Ms. Harris a call or your building principal. They can all help you and assist you. And with that, I'll thank you, and we'll conclude tonight's meeting. So have a great night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, nice job.
Thank you.
Yes, it was very helpful, and it helped me make some decisions. So thank you.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
the community and making changes.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
I did see you recording this. Will you be posting it anywhere? Because I missed the first couple minutes.
Yes, we'll be posting this on our website. It'll be on the Online Academy webpage.
Okay, thank you.